it was absolutely incredible how quickly I was out of pain. And it was a bit shocking, to be honest.
So what initially brought you in to see us?
Well, I work as a registered nurse, and I woke up after just a normal shift and had an incredible amount of pain in my lower back. It was something that I had never had happen before, so I wasn't really sure. I went to see my RMT that day, and she sort of did an examination and basically said, like, this isn't something that a massage will fix. You need to go and see a chiropractor. So I did. So I made my appointment that day, and I came in and we started that whole treatment plan then. It was absolutely incredible how quickly I was out of pain, and it was a bit shocking, to be honest. So I think that the first part of it, when I was coming in sort of, every couple of days and we were keeping a really close eye on it, I was pretty much won over with chiropractic. I had never seen a chiropractor before, and for not necessarily any specific reason, it just wasn't ever something that I had incorporated into my healthcare or my self-care. And I'm pretty glad that RMT recommended that I seek you out, because it's made a big difference overall for my mobility, my muscle tone and stiffness. I am sleeping better, and I don't have any more lower back pain. So it's been a good experience.
That's awesome. And you weren't just having some soreness, right?
So I couldn't even breathe fully. I couldn't even take deep breaths without my lower back going into spasm. And, every step was excruciating. I was convinced that I had, permanently damaged some vertebrae or done something horrific. And because it wasn't something that I had ever dealt with. But yeah, that first day, getting in and out of the car took me 20 minutes. And then, just not being able to get up off the couch, not being able to walk without pain. I couldn't take deep breaths. So I sort of started to, hyperventilate a little bit at times. And really nothing in my sort of traditional toolbox had worked by the time I saw you at 3 p.m. So I was pretty willing to try anything at that point, and I'm glad I did.
What was kind of your experience here at our office?
Yeah, I am pretty skeptical I'm skeptical of things that I guess I haven't used in my own life and had them be a successful intervention. But from the moment I walked into your clinic, it was pretty clear to me that there was a super high standard of organization, and the sort of rules and regulations are very clear. Everybody was masked, which I was super impressed with. And then that sort of initial visit with you, you didn't put your hands on me until you had done a full, almost 30-minute assessment, which was very, very relieving to me. And a clear explanation of what you thought was happening, what the treatment plan would be, and what I could expect from that treatment plan. The other piece of it, of course, is the fact that it did become a WCB claim, and it was painless. There was zero complication. All of the paperwork was submitted correctly. I didn't have to fight with them at all, and we were just able to sort of go through that treatment plan, and I am so grateful that it worked out that way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Sometimes, especially with those third-party payers, it can be a bit of a headache or a bit of a nightmare just dealing with all the paperwork, especially if you've never been through it before, which you've never been. Just kind of that new process can be a little nerve-wracking, cause a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah,
it's just not good. So we love to help people with that, of course, make it as seamless as possible. You're obviously in the healthcare field, so very, I'll say, medically trained, which is great. So very aware of how the body works and all these kind of things. What would you say to someone who might be a little skeptical, maybe dealing with some of those similar issues, and maybe a little skeptical to try chiropractor out? What would you kind of say to that person?
Yeah, I kind of was that person. So I think basically I was thinking about this last night, sort of in anticipation of this conversation. And one of the things that really occurred to me was that, when we're looking at wellness and we're looking at injuries and we're looking at overall sort of well-being, there's no single one modality that supports our overall well-being. So, the massage piece is great for the muscles. The chiropractic piece helped immensely with the sort of, the disc injury and spinal alignment and just sort of understanding how that all works together. And then there's also that sort of, like the self-care piece where it's just like actually having the time to make those decisions and seek out practitioners. And I think, I understand now that adding chiropractic to that sort of group of things that I do on a regular basis has just added another whole dimension of I don't want to say healing, because that's not really the word, but like body maintenance, if you will. I mean, like I'm continually using the same muscles over and over again, and I'm continually sort of, pushing my body in a way that can be really harmful, and adding chiropractic to that has really reduced the symptoms that I was experiencing sort of all around with, like numbness in my hands and the back injury and healing from that. And then, just sort of overall alignment has just really improved my quality of life. So I think I would tell that person that, go and even just see a chiropractor, have a conversation with them, understand what their skill set is and what they can bring to you, and then proceed if you're comfortable with it. It's, there's a lot of people that swear by chiropractic, and I understand now why. So yeah, I would just encourage people to give it a try if there is something that they're having trouble resolving.
Is there anything else that you think you'd like to add, or anything I'm missing that you think is important someone be interested in hearing about?
I think, I hadn't anticipated the ways that this would support me outside of that injury. So, the sort of ongoing conversation and attention paid to, my range of motion in my neck and my shoulders and those sorts of things that's not what I initially thought I was going to be doing. And as our sort of therapeutic relationship grew, we were able to sort of target some other issues that I was having. And I just don't think that I would have ever, for these ongoing sort of chronic issues, I wouldn't have sought out extra help. So I wish that I would have, and I think that that's something that if I had to go back and do it all again, I would probably have started seeing a chiro earlier on in my career for sure. So
right. Yeah, especially in the nursing career, it's really physical, right? Lifting patients up, throwing them around.
And also just being on your feet all the time, and the impact of that, and, the missed meals and the low sleep quality and all of that sort of stuff just really, I was thinking about it, like the way that my spine literally carries the weight of all of those sort of, shortcomings, if it's nutritional or sleep. And no wonder I'm having neck